If your kids are under 10 years old and you're currently not doing this to your children, which according to my client, who is a first generation Aussie and have produced 2 kids, one of them is a doctor, a surgeon, and another one is a barrister, both over 300k figures of income, then you have failed as a parent, according to my client. Let me digress. Now, as a disclaimer, what I'm telling you today is unconventional parenting. I don't agree with it, but it's definitely a story to share on this channel, which is That Kids Finance Author channel, which a lot of you will probably be following very soon because I share daily parenting hacks. And the hack that this first gen Aussie is sharing is coming from his homeland, China. Now, this first generation Aussie who came from China is also my client for many years, and apparently he shared a story that he came to Australia with basically a suitcase and $1,000, and now his kids, who are 2 boys, are now the elitists of society because one of them is a barrister and one of them is a surgeon, very highly paid. And what he does this thing called Zhuo Meng, or Zhou Meng in Cantonese, and it's basically early childhood career dream weaving. ECCDW. Let's digress. So to really boil down what is this early childhood career dreaming that he does, which he calls 做梦 in Mandarin, is for me as a parent, I have 2 boys, 5 and 7, right? You basically, take them to different curricular activities. You discover what they like, and for things that they like, for example, they like soccer, then you enroll them in soccer. And then later they go, oh, I don't like soccer, Dad, I want to go ice skating. Then you take them to ice skating, and then so forth. And then you get them to discover what they like. And basically, it's their free choice. But for my client, no, you got to draw mong, which is basically Inception to your kids. Basically, what old mate does is, I don't really agree with it, but it works for him apparently. So basically, many years ago, when his kids were 5 and 7, obviously before I arrived in Australia with my parents, basically his kids were 5 and 7, 2 boys. What he does is, he already decided what he wanted them to be. All right, one of them was like, okay, you got to be a doctor. One of them is you got to be a successful lawyer. Okay, so what he does is then he maps out the North Star, which is the end goal. Okay, so one of them is a doctor, one of them is a barrister, right? So what he does is he dream weaves, or he does Inception, and what he does is he maps out every stage of what it requires to be, for example, a doctor, what type of primary school, what type of high school to go to, what type of university, for example, Sydney Uni, and what type of hospital that these highly successful doctors are participating in, what type of exams, etc. Same for the barrister. And then he weaves them into their subconsciousness through daily activities that points towards that occupation's milestones. Let me give you an example. One of his kids who he, in his head, knows that's going to be a doctor in the near future when he grows up. Well, what happens is the kid likes Transformers, right? When you're a kid, you don't know what you want to do. Doctor, engineer, you don't even think about it. You just want to play the next latest toy. So he was into Transformers. So his dad went and bought Transformer toys for him. But what he does, he would then go to the internet and print out the logo of, for example, one of the best schools which most doctors go to, for example, James Roos. He'll print out that logo and also print out logos like the Sydney Uni, which, most doctors go to too as well. And he would then stick it on those toys, like, the chest plates. He'll remove it somehow. And then, he was an engineer before, so he'll glue it over with some sort of toy to make it really realistic, and basically elaborate a story involving Transformers with the logos of James Roos and Sydney Uni. And then he would then plant that his son with these toys combined with the Transformers, just a totally different story from bloody Transformers, right? That he was the main doctor that in the future will be working along these Transformers from James Roos and Transformers from Sydney Uni, right? To save the world from destruction from alien forces, and basically weave that story into every milestone of this kid's life. This badass dad from China incepted his kid from 5 to 7 to believe he was the chosen one to go along these Transformers from James Roos and Sydney Uni to basically save the world. And every day he'll tell his kid, you are the doctor that would be working alongside your lawyer brother to do this. And to make it real and to really anchor the point that the doctor's son and the barrister's son is about to embark on this journey to save the world as chosen ones, he would get these Sydney University, letterheads. Obviously, he would, copy and paste and do all that stuff behind the scenes and write a letter from Sydney Uni every year to his son to say, we are looking forward for you to join the ranks of the Transformers to save the world. And old mate Chinese first gen told me he unlocked the secret, the parenting secret, to get the kids to become the desired occupation. Because, for example, for us, we push our kids to study, we push our kids to do homework. He doesn't need to do that. His kids look forward to do homework, to work hard, to be number one at everything towards the career goal, because he weaved this elaborate Inception story into kids' head. Subconsciously, they believe they're on a journey to do what they were chosen to do. Like for 1 year, to give example, what he did was to encourage his kid to really foster that belief. Is that for one particular year, for example, the letter that was sent out from the Sydney Uni that the dad did, right? He did it for like 10 years, and then when the kid was 12 years old, they were looking out for the mail. But what he did for that year, he didn't make that letter, and he said to his kid, "Oh son, I think what? I heard from rumors they've found another chosen one, someone that is studying even harder than you. Maybe that's the reason why they didn't send you the letters this year." Wink, wink. What happens? His kid would even study harder and harder. He'll ask for more test papers, more things to progress and hit the milestones so that they become the desired occupation the father has set out. And guys, it worked out. His kids, he told them this story, his kids were like laughing about it. But look, they thanked their dad. Like, they are earning at least more than $500,000 per person. And they weren't like forced by their parents to study. They really enjoy that storytelling, that inception, right? They were never flogged in the ass or told off. They really were self-driven to become the chosen one. And guys, this is his 做梦 technique, the early childhood career dream weaving technique. Now guys, jump in the comments, let me know what you think about this unconventional 做梦 dream weaving technique this unconventional father did. For me personally, I'm really on the fence. I feel like it's a positive version of gaslighting your kids to basically do something that you think is successful in life. Whilst for me, I really want my kids to discover something that they really enjoy. And that is why, as an aspiring kids finance author with a debut book, which is Nana, the Naughty Savings Jar Show and Tell Day, which is coming soon, guys, I'd rather teach my kids the money side, the way to manage a business, the way to be a leader, and then give them those attributes. And then they discover, for example, they want to be a vet, they want to do X, Y, and Z. Then those skills really pump them into become the entrepreneurs of that occupation, rather than go, hey, this is what you want to be and let's BS some stories to get you there. I don't know. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think.